friends. I'm presently in New Zealand, Cleveland, in my second week here. Still have another full week to do. Been in New Zealand for 5 weeks, loving the country. Beautiful. If this is winter, wow. Everybody join in. Take time to settle yourself in your couch, your chair, grab a drink. Join me for a little conversation on house sitting. You guys have so many questions all the time. I get questions from everywhere about a lot of things that are hopefully going to be today answered for you guys. First of all, who I am, what I do, I think you guys know. I'm pretty much location independent for the last year. Decided to travel in Southeast Asia for a few months. And then after so many months of traveling around, thought it would be a good idea to do a little bit more house sitting to settle myself in, because you get a little tired of traveling all the time. Questions. What is house sitting? A lot of people ask me, what's this thing that you do? We see you here, we see you there. Are you living in people's house? People leave you in their home just like this. How does it work? Well, it's not it seems to be newer in North America, but it's been going on for many years. A lot of people know house swaps or exchange of house, but this is not exactly how this works. This is basically like babysitting, but you babysit pets or you babysit a house. That's why it's called house sitting, but most of the time it includes a pet. In this case, I have Ziggy right here, who's with me today and all the time by my side. Cute little thing. And house sitting is basically an exchange of services between a homeowner and somebody like me who's looking for an opportunity to travel to that place, stay there, and get lodging for free in exchange for taking care of like this little guy, Ziggy. And I get to explore like a local. Yes, I explore as a local, get to see the neighborhood and really live more than just like tourists would do. So get to explore, get to go to farmers market and grocery shopping and see what people eat here and what people like. Go to yoga classes with the neighbors and stuff like that. Brings me to the second question: where do you find such things as house sitting gigs? Well, mostly websites. My preferred one is trustedhousesitter.com. After this live broadcast will be published on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see in the description and the caption the link to the site. So it's like a dating site where homeowners post what they're looking for. They could be looking for an actual regular house sitter, just like you would for a babysitter. So homeowners could put a time they're looking for someone, and on exchange, on the other side, we put our profile. So I would put on my profile why you would want to hire me, or why you'd want me in your home to take care of your pets. So you'd put forward your experience with pets, like cats or dogs, and you basically apply like you would for a dating site. You're like, that person interests me, or that's something I'd be into doing. So you put your candidacy for that site, for that house sit. Now you get to pick city regions, or do you want to go in the country, or do you want to house sit for cats only, or you're allergic to cats? Fine, you can only apply on dogs, or you could apply for some have horses or sheep or whatever. So it's up to you. You get to decide what you want to apply on. So to get back to trustedhousesitter.com, my preferred one, but there's other ones. There's Mind My House, Nomador. There's tons in the UK and Oceania. For some reason, the majority of house sits are mostly in Europe in the UK and lots in France also, but lots in UK, and loads in Australia. Like seriously, you could spend a whole year in Australia going around just house sitting. And there's plenty also here in New Zealand. Like I could go around New Zealand all year and house sit. But trustedhousesitter.com has a lot also in the States and a few here and there in Asia. I've done some in Australia, I've done some right now in New Zealand, I've done some in UK, Canada, US, any kinds of places. I'd love to do some in Spain. That sounds really fun. Some are short terms, some are long term, like we talked about. If you're looking for a babysitter that's going to be a regular one, like on every weekend you want to go and explore as a homeowner, you might be looking for a house sitter that's going to be available to you and know your place and be there all the time. Other times, you could look for a longer period of time, like 2 weeks for your vacation or 2 months. Because I use this as a platform for me to rest in between my travels, I don't particularly look for house sits that are short, like 2-3 days or 2 weeks. I prefer 2 weeks to 2 months. It enables me to like settle down and get a little bit of a breath, because it gets tiring, this traveling. It doesn't unpacking. So it's nice to get in somewhere and just like chill for a little bit and don't have to go everywhere all the time. So that's kind of nice. So to get back again to how do I find these jobs? Well, first of all, you need to make a killer profile that explains to people why they need to pick you, a proper profile. At first, True Trusted House Sitter, I'm referring to that one because I think the platform is excellent. You have an email link that you can send people, so that's real easy. They don't make it complicated where you have to find out yourself and do an email and all that. It's all done for you. You just send the link and you ask people, would you be kind enough to answer this questionnaire, or like just to give me a little bit of a review so I can put it on this profile. The idea is to get at least 5 to 10, because I think that puts people in the comfort zone that you've got 10 references. It could be employers, it could be friends, could be family, people you've actually house sat for. Once you've got that build up, then you can start applying. Be more flexible as to the ones you pick at first, just to get your first ones that are within the site. But once that's done, wanted to demystify a little bit what's this whole lifestyle I got going about house sitting. A lot of people are curious, what does it involve, how much tasks you do, what's all about. You feel free to ask questions. I can see your questions. I'll be able to answer them if you do. Do I get paid is probably the second biggest question I get asked all the time. People want to know, do you get money for this? No, I do not. I guess I could. I mean, some people I think do, but for me it's more of an exchange of services. So I get to stay here for free and they get to have somebody who's taking care of little Ziggy here, or somebody who's taking care of sheep and chickens and give hay to the horses or the cows. So it really depends. But for me, no, I don't get paid. So do you get a car? You don't necessarily need to have a vehicle included, but because I prefer, this is me, I prefer to be in the countryside. Hey Ziggy, we do. We have our little cows going around here, which is nice. So if you do prefer the countryside like I do, a vehicle is kind of necessary. If you're within the country you're house sitting for, let's say I'm in Canada and I apply for a house sit in Canada, you can apply in your hometown, then you don't need to look for one that says car included. But if you don't apply in your city and you plan to be somewhere for 2-3 weeks, a vehicle can be a little pricey. If you're doing a city, like I was saying, like Auckland, or you're in New York City, or you're in Seattle, or any kind of big city, you don't necessarily need a car. You could just walk to, some have like very close proximity to grocery shopping or activities and parks and beaches, and then you're fine. But if, like me, you like the actual rural setting, then a car is kind of essential. If it's only a week, you could rent one, but kind of defeats the purpose of having free rent, in my opinion. But yes, of course, you can ask. It doesn't cost anything to ask. Some do say on the listing that the car is included. It's usually the dogmobile. I've had dogmobiles that were really dogmobiles, like, whew, lots of use of dogs in those cars, you could tell. But no, it's been I'm getting really familiar now with driving on each side of the road, which is something to take in consideration if you're doing it in another country, like if you're going to the United Kingdom or if you're going to Australia and New Zealand. But once you've got that under your belt, then you're good to go. I do ask, a lot of time when you apply, it says car included or car not included, or sitter needs car. Well, even if it says sitter needs car, I still apply, and when I get the actual conversation going with the owner, I usually ask, because I'm out of country, I'm not coming with my own vehicle, I'm not within the region, can I use your vehicle? I've got a perfect driving record. It's always work that they allow me to. So I always offer to pay for excess for insurance if ever I would scratch a car or something would happen, an accident would happen. And I just ask to be put on the actual liability. But I think if it's only for 2 weeks, you don't really need to. It's like, I don't go like very far with the vehicle and go exploring. I do a certain perimeter, and mostly for groceries and stuff like that. Like I'll keep it more limited. I won't go for like a 5-hour drive or something like that. But people have been very kind in allowing me to use their vehicle because they're just happy that somebody's here and taking care of the home. So I get asked, do you have access to, in this particular house, I can roam in the whole house, which is fine, but you don't try to snoop because that's rude. You don't want to do that. And usually people tell you when you arrive which, oh, it's raining again, which place you're in the actual environment. It's not happened to me once that people say, please don't go there. But why would you go to a specific room or a specific area that you don't have business to do there? So please don't. Generally, the public areas like living room, kitchen, stuff like that is open, and you have your own sleeping arrangements kind of figured out before. Now, here's a tip. If you're going to apply for a house sit, do a Skype just before applying, before accepting, and make sure you see the environment live, because what you see live could be totally different. You also get a feel for the pet. So if you're going to be walking dogs and stuff like that, you want to make sure that the pet looks calm and not totally like, and you get a feel also of the environment of the house. Does it look tidy? Does it look clean? Yes, sometimes it does happen. You get there and it's not the same standard that you would expect your house to be, but that's okay. It happens. Wash it, then it's your stuff and you're okay, you carry on. So it's nothing, but it did happen in the past that sometime it's not in this particular case, not the case, but it's happened before. But hey, I mean, in comparison to like spending an hour at but then after that you're good to go and you're there for a few weeks or a few months. I've done house sits that were 9 weeks in the UK. I've done some that were only 3 weeks. Like this is going to be 3 weeks. Hey, Ziggy, what are you doing there sleeping? Look at this guy. Just very, very stressed. I have to admit that his homeowners are trained them very well. He's a very good companion. And he's a good cuddler. Yes, you are. And he's no barky. He doesn't bark. And he loves to go for car rides. So house sitting is a great way to, let's relax, let's get in, get a kitchen. Yay, I get to cook again. I'm super excited. And it's nice to have pets. Because if you're a traveler all the time, you don't have access to pets anymore. So that kind of, for me, it encapsulates a lot of things. Deal, guys. That the reason I do this is also because I get to stretch my travel buck, get to live like a local somewhere, get to actually settle in and see what life is in a certain region, and escape the winters in my particular case for Canada. And this year I'm doing a little longer than just the winter. That's about it for now. I think we've covered what is house sitting. We talked about exchange of services. I get to stay in your home. You get to go away with the peace of mind that somebody's in your home. It does happen sometimes that there's no pets. Not very often. Sometimes it happens people just want somebody here so that it's not pride. It's not open for mischiefs or for vandalism. It's lovely to meet up with you guys. I'm happy to follow up. If you have any questions on the life, feel free to leave comments. I'll answer them the best I can. Again, this will be posted on my YouTube channel. Feel free to, well, not feel free, but please subscribe. And I'll try to do these lives weekly to keep you posted on what's going on. Bye-bye. Salut!